welcome back to Paul's Railroad. Today we are going to begin our final video in this tunnel portal design series. And before we get started, if you don't mind, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and tap the little bell icon to get future notifications of video uploads. Where we left off last time was we actually did finish this tunnel portal that we have here in front of us. And this video is going to be basically like a little bonus video actually. I'm going to show you how to make a very quick and easy tunnel liner. You know, most people just put cardboard behind their tunnel portals, stuff like that, but we've got a 3D printer. We know how to design brick texture now, so why not just create a really nice looking little tunnel liner to put behind this. Doesn't have to be big, especially for N scale. So let's get started on that right now. First thing that we're going to want to do is turn off as much of this stuff as possible. So we'll get rid of our little side supports here, get rid of our keystone, and we do want to keep our tunnel portal just for a second. We are going to be basing our liner off of our portal frame here. So very simple. The first thing that we're going to do with this is we are going to make a copy of our tunnel portal frame. So just select the Move Copy tool as I have done. Go over here to create a copy, select that, and let's drag this down to the back side of the tunnel portal. Click OK. Now, to make this look halfway decent, I would like to line this up with the back of the tunnel portal. So again, we're going to use our Align tool. We'll click the front face of our new portal frame in the back of our tunnel portal. And that brings it nice and even. Alrighty. Now we need to make an allowance for our brick texture. And as you, if you remember, our brick texture was 6.06 of a centimeter thick, because we use a little bit of a backing to it. So we need to decrease the inner diameter of this by 0.06. We can go ahead and we can turn this portal frame and the tunnel portal off now for just a minute. So best way to do that was just do the press pull. Click on that. Select that inner one. Select this inner one. And select that inner one. And we'll just type in negative 0.06. Now let's turn that tunnel portal back on real quick. See how that looks? That looks like it might be just about right. Turn that back off again. Now this is way too thick for a liner. We don't need to be this thick at all. I'm actually going to take a real quick measurement of our thickness to see how much I want to thin it out. So we're going to grab our little ruler up here. Let's go from that corner just to this corner. And it's 0.44 of a centimeter, which is a little over almost 4.5 millimeters. I think this only needs to be, let's knock it down to 1 millimeter thick, because once we add on the brick texture, it gives us enough thickness. So we are 0.44 of a centimeter, so we want to take that down by negative 0.34. So again, we'll use our press pull. Come over here, select the outer ones this time, and do it in negative 0.34. And if we did it correctly, that should give us a 1 millimeter thick. So now here's a good example. I clicked on that little cube up here to turn to the front, and I lost it. Where'd it go? If that ever happens, just go up here and hit your little house. Brings it home. Right there it is. Okay. Let's check this out again here. And there we are at 1 millimeter thick. That works just great. Now we need to add some length to this tunnel portal. And I'm going to turn the portal back on real quick. Okay, yeah. I didn't want to drag it through the portal, this liner. I just wanted to be able to drag it back. So again, let's just use our press pull tool. Select that edge. And let's just give it an arbitrary length for right now. Let's see here. I'm going to try to shoot for 4 centimeters. Okay, now you notice I don't know exactly how long it is because I didn't measure that where we started from, how thick that was. So we'll just measure this up again real quick. 3.958. That is pretty daggone close, isn't it? So what do I need here? 0.052? Does that sound about right? Let's see. I'm not the best when it comes to math, or apparently speaking the English language. Okay, 4.01. Seriously? That was pretty close. Press pull again. Negative 0.01. Now it's because I went through all that. I'm going to measure it one more time. 4 centimeters. There we go. Now I'm happy. Alright, and again we are going to start creating our brick texture like we did for the front of our tunnel portal. So we're going to start with creating a sketch. We're going to create it on this interior section. It always flips around on you, so you just got to kind of figure it out. 2-point rectangle like we did before, and it is 0.09 wide and 0.19 long. E for extrude, we'll select that. 0.06, and as always a new body. Okay. And yes, we are going to create another path. So create pattern on path, select our new brick as our object, and as always make sure you select the entire object, not just a face. Come over here and click on path, and we'll select this bottom edge as our path, and path direction. In doing this tunnel liner, we'll show you why I always select path direction, and if you are guessing, it is because of the curve. Okay, nice thing about doing this tunnel liner is we can make this tunnel liner shorter if we need to get these bricks to line up nicely. So let's get one there, and let's just type in 20 to start. That's pretty close, huh? For some reason I lost my mouse pointer. Okay, it's back. Yep, no, 20 was right. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to go with. Okay, and as before, well, actually, we should have done something. We should have renamed this. So let's rename this. Instead of being Portal Frame 1, let's do Tunnel Liner. Okay, now that we've renamed that, let's turn the tunnel liner off for a moment. And yes, let us do our copy. So click on Move Copy, left click, hold down, left drag to select everything. Create a copy. Bring your copy up. And let's drag it over. That works for me. Like we've done with our, or like we done. Yeah, really good grammar there. like we have done, like we did with the other brick texture, we are going to extrude this one back to there. It is a cut operation, yes. Now again, we are going to grab our move copy tool. We are going to make another copy of this. Drag it to the opposite side. Okay, it does not have to be perfect because yes, we are going to align it. So our align tool, this is the object from, and I always try not to hit the center mark, because if you line it from this center to that center, it's going to drop it right down in there. So always just kind of get the the side, don't get the whole center point. There we go. And that gap is a little bit wider than the other one. So we're just going to eyeball here. We are modeling. We're just going to do our press pull here. Grab that. Let's make sure we're looking at this straight on. Yeah, that looks pretty close to me. Good enough. Yep, and yes, you are correct. If you're thinking the next thing that we are going to do is we are going to create a little backer for this. So we started a sketch on the corner brick like we have done before. Grab our 2-point triangle, come down here, make our little sketch there. E for extrude. Select everything. 0.01. And as always, a new body. Okay. Now we are going to align this to the back. So we are choosing the interior back of the new board, I guess you'll call it, we created, and line that up evenly with the back of our brick texture. And click OK. Now with this brick texture, I'm not going to give myself a grout line like I did for the very nice, very flat tunnel portal area. It makes it a little more difficult when we're doing the curves. It's just my opinion. Some people may think it doesn't matter, but to me it does. So again, we just do our press pull, make it even at the top of the bricks here, because the bottom and the sides seem to be even. Let's check this other side real quick. But it looked like it snapped to it pretty good when we were doing it. Yep. Now we're going to combine all this together to make it one unit. So combine. I'm going to select the main flat section if I can get a hold of it. Sometimes it's tricky. There we go. So that's our target body. Left click, left drag to select all of the bricks. Make sure it says join. We do not want to keep the tools. And click OK. And like before, we will just call this brick texture. Now let's turn our tunnel liner back on. And let's see here. Now I did not do this on the tunnel portal. I didn't really have to, but here it does matter. Or does it matter? No, we're not going to do that here because I already allowed for the width when I took the width away from the interior of this tunnel. Ignore me for a moment. But yes, we are going to do another pattern to create our brick texture. So create, pattern, pattern on path. We will select our brick texture. come over here, click on select for the path, and we will select, you can select this one or this, does not matter. I'll select this line here as our path, start dragging it up. Zoom in here. Put that right on the corner. Okay, now we need to see if we can move this without it flipping all over the place. So we can get kind of a look at the grout line to match it up. And let's start with 25 of these. Way too much. Let's start with 15. Okay, that's closer. Let's see here. Let's bump it back down to 18, see what that looks like. I think that looks, I'm not sure. I think that looks a little bit better. Let's take a look. Click OK. You know, that works for me. Alright, now we have to get to these bricks over here. And do you know how we're going to do that? If you've been paying attention, you'll know how we're going to do it actually. As I always state, we always try to model with the origin being in the center of our model. That way we can mirror things. So yes, we are going to mirror these. So actually, I'm going to turn my tunnel liner off for a second. And the reason I have that on, left click and drag to select all of these. Or as before, you can click and shift click to select them over here. Mirror plane, which we know is this plane here. Click OK. Let our computer catch up. There we go. Now we can turn our tunnel liner back on to see what we got. There we go. There's the two sides. Now comes the difficult part. We need to do the curve of the roof. And I'll tell you right now, you could, if you wanted to take the time and do 1 or 2 bricks at a time and make this absolutely perfect. This is N scale. The only person that's probably going to know that the roof is even done is you. So we're going to do it. It's going to look good, but it's not going to be 100% perfect. So again, let's grab our Move Copy tool. We'll grab this one here first, create a copy. Get this little squared up here. We'll rotate this. It's going to get as close as we can. Leave just a little bit of a gap here. Okay, I'm going to pull it away from the wall here because I do want to try to see if we can align it. So click on our Align tool, click the back of our brick texture, click our tunnel liner, and that did not work at all. And that probably did not work because this is a pretty good curve. Let's try this one more time here. Align tool, let's see if I can grab the center of it this time. And nope. Alright, we're going to do it the old-fashioned way. Sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. Just depends on how bad or how steep the curve is. Okay, so we're just going to grab it with our Move tool and we're just going to place it where we want it. That looks pretty decent. I think I can live with that. Yes, and we are going to try and see if we can do a path. Now we will try doing a pattern on the path first. That may not work. We may have to use a circular pattern. Let us find out. So let's use the object here, select our bricks, select our path as this curve. We want this to be the path direction. Bring this down to where we kind of like it. Okay. Now let's start with 15. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's start with 18. How about 22? Okay, how about 25? Ooh, that's pretty close. Let's back it down to 24. 23 maybe? I kind of like 23. The cap's a little bit wide, but it'll show better that way. So click OK. And there is our tunnel portal liner. Now here is the only problem that we're going to have with this. Maybe somebody caught it already. When we started on this side, we brought this whole section up these two. Let me zoom in here. This is a section of bricks. So we had a long brick against a short brick, which is how we want it. However, with pulling it over the way we did, we end up with a short brick next to a short brick. I'm sure that if I took the time, or if you take the time, we can figure out how to fix that. But like I said, other than you and I, nobody's going to notice this, especially not in a dark tunnel. And as a matter of fact, probably 90% of you didn't notice it until I mentioned it to you. So, next thing we're going to do is, since this is all done, we're going to combine this into the tunnel liner. So we will combine, click the tunnel liner, bring it so we can get everything. Again, you can either, shift click here like this. So we'll click this first brick texture, scroll down, select the last, shift click the last brick texture. Give it a moment to think. Make sure everything's blue. And make sure your combine window comes back. There we go. If it doesn't, just click and click OK. And there is our combined tunnel liner. Now before I show it to you all together, here's what I like to do. I like to keep these as separate files on Fusion 360. Makes it easier to work on them in the future if we have to. So just go up here to File and Save As, like you would do any other program, like a Word program, and do tunnel liner. And the location is still under tunnel portal. So that will give us a new save right there. Excuse me for the silence. As soon as that saves, let's look at it all together. And there you have it. Now when you print this out on your printer, since we did not combine this tunnel portal or the bricks with the back of the tunnel portal, you see the brick texture here. However, this will not show up when printing it. It will just be one smooth print. If it makes you feel better, you can always combine your liner with your tunnel portal, and that will go away. But as you can see here, when we get in here close, the brick is lined up nice and even with our tunnel frame here, our portal opening frame here. And that is what we are going to end up with. Now, I've already done this, so I'm not going to go through the entire steps, but I will show you what we would do. If we are finished like we are, turn off your tunnel liner first, and then actually what you could do is you just turn off your tunnel liner first. We had two different files here, but there's no need to go back and forth for this. Anyhow, now we have everything together here. This is our tunnel portal by itself. We'll go up here to File, Export, select the location that you want to export it to, name it whatever you want to name it, and make sure that you select it as a STL file, and then click on Export. And the same with the tunnel liner. Just turn off everything else, turn your tunnel liner on, and once again, File, Export. It should have saved your last location. Name it whatever you want to name it, and again, the most important step is create it as an STL file. If you do not create it as an STL file, your slicing software will not recognize it. Alright guys, that is it for this build. I hope you enjoy following along. I hope you learned something. I hope you were able to create your own tunnel portal, and most especially I hope that you have the knowledge now to create whatever kind of tunnel portal that you want. Like I showed you, they're very, very simple to do. With that, take care, good night, and I will see you on our next video.